Innocence Project has confirmed that just in the last hour, Marcellus Williams was executed by the state of Missouri for his conviction in a 1998 murder that he insisted he did not commit. It comes despite strong opposition, including from a top St. Louis prosecutor, as well as the family of the woman Willis was accused of killing, who said he should serve a life sentence instead of the death penalty. And as several questions still surround the case that brought his conviction. Williams' attorneys claim that the prosecution mishandled the murder weapon and had improperly struck prospective jurors because they were black. But yesterday, Missouri Supreme Court and governor ultimately refused to intervene. And tonight, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected 2 appeals to spare Williams' life over the objection of the liberal justices, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Elena Kagan, and Sonia Sotomayor. Williams is the 3rd inmate executed in Missouri and the 15th in this country this year. He was 55 years old. He will never be older because Missouri is a state and we are a country that maintains a system of official killing without mercy, even amidst evidence of innocence.
Now, this video is going to be in 3 parts. It's going to be moral, political, and then religious. The religious part is going to ruffle some feathers, and I'll save that for the end, so many of you may want to check off before you get to that part. So this situation with Marcellus Williams, I came into knowledge of it about 2-3 weeks ago. And in my research of it, I found our justice system to be just as broken as it has always been when it comes to people of color. We can have in Ohio where Jeffrey Dahmer, who has committed atrocities against this nation and against people, also within prison killed his roommate, injured a guard, and yet this man will serve life in prison. And I understand some people are going to say, well, that's Ohio and this is Missouri and the states have their rights. States do have their rights. But when justice is mediated so unfairly, this is where the federal government needs to step in. Because we can see a disparage between those of color and those none of color. The exoneration group, 50% of murderers who are exonerated are men of color. That goes to show that black men especially, are incarcerated at a higher rate, found guilty at a higher rate than anybody else. But yet we still persist with the same justice system. Now, politically, many people are screaming, well, why didn't Kamala Harris, why didn't Kamala Harris do something? Why didn't she say something? That goes to show that many people don't understand how government works, but I still am with them a little bit. Kamala Harris is the vice president. She's part of the staff of the president. She does not have the power to cause a stay of execution. Does she have the power to pressure a governor? Sure. But does she have the power of the presidency to stay the execution? Does she have the power of the presidency to put that level of pressure on the governor? No, she doesn't. She's also in a situation where she is walking in line with her party, with her president. And we don't know if she was trying to get President Joe Biden to stay the execution or not. He does have the power to do so. We don't know if she was trying to. But in most situations, even when there's a disagreement, they're going to show a united front. The part of me that doesn't necessarily align with that is the part of me that while I was in the Marine Corps, when one of my Marines was being unjustly railroaded by higher ranking personnel, I risked my career to stand up for that person who was being railroaded. Did it hurt my career? It hurt a little bit. But at the end of the day, the person who was innocent was found innocent. Instead of them being railroaded, they were found innocent. So sometimes when you know you're doing the right thing, you have to remove yourself from that united front. So I do fault her on that aspect of it. How big of a risk it would have been, I don't know. I personally think it was a missed opportunity. I think that she would have garnered more support, especially from black men and the Muslim community. Two groups that, from what I can see, she doesn't have as much support as she could garner. And that would have been a great political opportunity for her, as well as saving the life of this man who is most likely innocent. Yes, he had the computer and some other personal items of the victim, but he could have easily just have bought those things from the black market from the real criminal who murdered this lady. The DA, the prosecutor, was saying this man should not be executed. The family of the victim was saying this man should not be executed. But this governor and these judges in the Supreme Court and in the Supreme Court in Missouri said, no, we don't see a man. We see a villain. We don't see innocence. We see a color. And this is a travesty within our American judicial system to allow for such things to occur. Now, many of you are not going to like this part either. This is not the religious part, so you don't have to click off yet. Since this was a Republican governor, I also see Trump missed a great opportunity. If Trump wanted to get more black men, especially those black men who were on the fence about Kamala Harris, and if Trump wanted to get more get the Muslim vote, this would have been an excellent opportunity for Trump to have pressured this governor to give another stay of execution and give Trump some of the credit so that black men, some black women, as well as the Muslim community will look more favorably upon him. I think the Trump group missed an opportunity as well to garner more votes. And even though I'm not a Trump supporter, I sure as hell would have appreciated it, because it would have been saving an innocent man's life and at least show some movement towards fair justice in America. So I think they missed a great opportunity as well on both sides. Now for the religious part. The reason why it would have garnered the Muslim support is because during his 24 years in prison, Marcellus Williams had converted to Islam. His name changed to Khalifa, and I don't remember the rest of it. But he had converted to he had converted to Islam. This is why you see videos of Muslims doing their prayer of the dead and Muslim protesting during the time frame of his execution. And you also saw Christians out there praying. This is the part where religious people may need to click off. On this page, I deconstruct Christianity. Oftentimes, people talk about their power of prayer and how prayer gets things done. When one or two come together, and there is no doubt that where it will tell the mountain to move and the mountain will move. Where two or three come together, I am in their presence. Christians, Muslims, were all praying for the same thing. Praying for this day of execution. Praying for this man's innocence. And yet, it failed. It failed. The only thing that would have kept this man from dying is not Allah. It is not Jesus. It is not Yeshua. It is not Yahweh. It would have been the decency of people, the fairness of man. It would have been this governor, the Supreme Courts, the two candidates recognizing that this man has enough evidence around him to prove that he may not have committed this crime and that an innocent life was being thrown away. That action is what would have saved this man's life. Your prayers did absolutely nothing. Your protest did absolutely nothing. And your prayer for the dead will do absolutely nothing. We have to take action if we want fairness, if we want to stop the oppression. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.